Hi everybody, Plays here, and today we are going to be doing a review of the new Hearthstone expansion called Forged in the Barrens. This is going to be an arena review, and it's going to be basically a speedrun reaction. So I'm just going to go through the cards as quick as I can and give them a thumbs up if I like them, thumbs to the side if I think they're going to be pretty meh, and thumbs down if I don't think they're really pickable. Let's get to it. So first we have Demon Hunter. First card, 2 mana 2/2, Razer board, Death Rattle, summon a Death Rattle minion that costs 3 or less from your hand. I think this is pretty really bad stats for a 2 mana cost card, and having cards that cost 3 or less with Death Rattle in your hand as a Demon Hunter, which is not really known for being a Death Rattle class, just seems awful, so nah. Next card we have is a 3 mana spell called Valcall. Summon two 2/2 demons with lifesteal. So basically it's like that Trent card you get in Druid, but with an added benefit. I like it. And next we have is a 1 mana spell called Fury. So rank 1 is give your hero +2 attack. When you hit 5 mana crystals, you'll give your hero +3 attack, and at 10 mana crystals, it will give your hero +4 attack. Honestly, I think this is just a worse version of Twin Slice, so I'm just gonna give it to like a side meh. And then the next card we have is Tusk Piercer. So it's a 1 mana 1/2 weapon, Death Rattle, draw a Death Rattle minion. I guess it's okay as a late game card, but overall I think this is also another pretty meh card. I think there are much better weapons in Demon Hunter to go for. Next card we have is a 7 mana 3/6 Death Speaker Blackthorn. Battlecry, summon 3 Death Rattle minions that cost 5 or less from your deck. First thing I looked at was the stats. I think the stats are pretty awful, and again, Demon Hunter's not really known for having many Death Rattle cards, or even like neutrals, there aren't that many, so again, meh. Next we have is a 4 mana 4/4 Vengeful Spirit. Outcast, draw 2 Death Rattle minions. Now this is not mana based, and I feel like a lot of Death Rattle cards that are actually good are actually high costing, like Proto Drake or anything like along those lines. I actually give this card kind of like a thumbs up. It's not too bad. Obviously if you don't get the outcast effect, then it kind of goes like eh. But yeah, it's okay. Next card we have is a 0 mana spell called Cigar Silence. At the start of your next turn, silence all enemy minions, because what's better than surprising your opponent with a silence is warning them in advance. I honestly think this is a thumbs down. I don't see this getting much play. Next card I have here is a 2 mana spell, Sigil of Flame. At the start of your next turn, deal 3 damage to all minions. Again, same effect as the previous card, but I guess it could slow down your opponent, so I'm just going to give it a meh, but still pretty, I probably wouldn't pick this. Next card we have is a 3 mana 3/3 Razorfen Beastmaster. Death Rattle, summon a Death Rattle minion that costs 4 or less from your hand. Still a little bit more flexible than the first card we saw, but I'm still not particularly a fan of it. It's a 3 mana 3/3, so the stats aren't particularly great. I'm gonna just give it a thumbs down. I'm not happy. And last but not least for Demon Hunter, we have a 4 mana 3/4 Kurtrus Ashfallen. Battlecry, attack the left and rightmost enemy minions. Outcast, immune this turn, of course, because Demon Hunter need more great removal turns. I'll give this one a thumbs up. Okay, so here we have Druid, 7 mana spell here, Celestial Alignment. Set each player to 0 mana crystals. Set the cost of cards in all hands and decks to 1. It's one of those cards you don't know until you play. I probably would only pick it if I was memeing, just to find out if I liked it. So yeah, this is going to be one of those I'm not particularly sure on. I think it's going to be eh. Next card you have is a 4 mana 3/5 Thick High Kodo. Taunt and Death Rattle gain 5 armor. It's not too bad. I think it's kind of just like a Senjin. I don't think it has that much of an impact, so that's why I'm giving it like a halfie. Next we have is a 2 mana spell called Thorn Growth Sentries. Summon 2 1/2 turtles with Taunt. So it's kind of like that lifesteal card they used to have in Druid. That was okay. I think this is just going to be okay, so I'm just going to give it a mediocre eh. And then the next spell we have is a 4 mana buff, Pride's Fury, give your minions +1/+3. I'm going to give this a thumbs down. I just think it's very expensive for a buff for Druid. I think there are much better mana efficient buffs out there. Next we have is a 4 mana 3/4, Plaguemaw the Rotten. After a friendly minion with taunt dies, summon a new copy of it without taunt. Oh gosh, imagine Grey Bow with this. Likelihood of you actually pulling this off in Arena seems very unlikely though. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down just for the stats alone, because you couldn't really play this card vanilla. If you do get this card off, then you're probably quite ahead, but if you're falling a little bit behind, this may not necessarily be that great. You got a 2 mana 2/3 here called Razer main Battleguard. The first taunt minion you play each turn costs 2 less. That's not too bad, so I'm assuming that has to be on board for it to trigger the effect. I think the cost of the card's actually okay, and there seems to be some new new taunt cards available in the expansion, and it's quite annoying if your opponent can't remove it right away. I think I'm gonna give it like still a meh, because obviously you need the taunt to really pull off that effect. Yeah, okay. 3 mana 2/4, Guff Rune Totem. After you cast a nature spell, give another friendly minion +2/+2. If you can pull this off, then great, but I don't think it's going to be that great. I don't like the mana cost for it, and maybe I'm just being too harsh on the card, but I just don't like it. Next one we have is a 2 mana spell, Mark of the Spike Shell. Give a minion +2/+2. If it has taunt, add a copy of it to your hand. So this is a little bit into value town. I actually rate this a bit higher than Mark of the Wild, so I'm actually going to give this a thumbs up. I quite like this card. I think it's pretty good. And the next card we have is a 2 mana spell, Living Seed. Rank 1, draw a beast, reduces cost by 1. And then you've got draw a beast, reduces cost by 2. And then draw a beast, reduces cost by 3. See, I'm a bit iffy about this card, because honestly this just seems like 2 mana draw cards. And you have to have beasts in your deck. Now Druid are likely to have beasts, but I think it's very air. This is probably one of my least favourite ranked spells. I'm just going to give it a side, kind of like a thumbs down. I'm just not a fan of it. Next we have is a 7 mana 7/6 Druid of the Plains, Rush. Frenzy, transform into a 6/7 coder with taunts. Absolutely insane. If you don't know what Frenzy means, basically when this minion is damaged, it will it'll have an effect. So basically, if you value trade with this, you're gonna get a 6/7 taunt. I think this is the best way to make any opponent insta concede. Absolutely insane. Double thumbs up. And now we have Hunter. So the next card is a 4 mana 3/4 Warsong. The Warsong Wrangler, Battlecry, discover a beast in your deck, give all copies of it +2/+1. I actually think this is pretty nice. You get to discover a beast and have it in your hand right away, and you get to buff it. So this could actually be really beneficial to yourself. Seems a little slow for Hunter, but I think overall, I think it's still a decent card, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. Next card we have is a 4 mana spell, Piercing Shot, deals 6 damage to a minion, excess damage hits the enemy hero. So this is the unwanted cousin of Fireball, but I guess in a sense it's nice for Hunter to have some form of big removal, so I'm not actually mad about this card. I think it's a great thumbs up. I think it's nice to have some form of removal tool for this type of class. Next card we have is a 3 mana 3/3 Pack Coder, Battlecry, discover a beast, secret, or a weapon. So it's basically like Hunter's pack, but you actually get to choose what you want. I guess it's okay. You get a 3/3 body with it. I think I would, just for the value fact, and it's a beast as well, so you got the little beast synergy going there. Next card we have is a 2 mana 1/3 Prospectus Caravan. At the start of your turn, give all minions in your hand +1/+1. Yes, because we know hand buffs always worked really well in the past. I think this card's pretty awful because it's at the start of your turn, and I think it's very easy to kill, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. I really don't like it. Next card we have is a 1 mana spell, Wound Prey. Deal 1 damage, summon a 1/1 hyena with Rush. I think this is fantastic. Definitely a card that you would want to pick in Arena. Also, it deals 1 damage and it's not just specific to a minion, so you can smoke. Next card we have is a 3 mana 2/5 Tavish Stormpike. After a friendly beast attacks, summon a beast from your deck that costs 1 less. I don't think it's that good, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs down and move on. 2 mana 2/3 Cold Card Pack Runner. After you cast a spell, summon a 1/1 Hyena with Rush. Decent stats for a 2 mana card, and if you get the effect, great. Just give it a thumbs up, I think. It's okay. Next card we have is a 2 mana spell called Tame Beast, so it's a rank spell. So rank 1 is summon a 2/2 beast with Rush, rank 2 is summon a 4/4 beast with Rush, and rank 3 is summon a 6/6 beast with Rush. I actually think this is okay. Yeah, no, I actually think this is actually decent. I repeated actually so many times. Anyway, next card. Next card we have is a 5 mana 3/5 Barak Kodabane. Battlecry, draw a 1, 2, and 3 cost spell. To me, I'm just going to give it instant thumbs down. I think it's a little bit too slow and I'm not particularly happy about his body. And then last but not least, we have a 1 mana 1/3 Sunscale Raptor Frenzy. Shuffle a Sunscale Raptor into your deck with a permanent +2/+1. So this is basically mole with benefits. Like if you get it off, great. But if you don't, I think it's still a great 1 mana cost card. I'm going to give it a big thumbs up. I think it's a brilliant card. Alrighty, so now we have Mage. So the first card we're looking at is a 3 mana 4/3 called Arcane Luminary. Cards that didn't start in your deck cost 2 less, but not less than 1. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It looks like going into the value path is actually going to be beneficial to you. Who knew? Next card we have is a 3 mana Secret Oasis Alley. When a friendly minion is attacked, summon a 3/6 Water Elemental. Absolutely insane. Gonna hate playing against Mage this meta. Thumbs up. And the next card we have is a 3 mana 3/4 called Rhyme Tongue. After you cast a frost spell, summon a 1/1 elemental that freezes. Kind of an annoying card. I think I'm going to give it a thumbs up because the stats alone are just good enough even without the effect. Next card we have is a 4 mana spell, Refresh and Spring Water. Draw 2 cards, refresh 2 mana crystals for each spell drawn. I always found that Minion Mage always worked out better than Spell Mage, so I'm actually going to give this card a thumbs down. I think it's just a very crappy version of Arcane Intellect about most of the time. Next card we have is a 2 mana spell called Wildfire. Increases the damage of a hero power by 1. So if that's a permanent effect, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. If it's only for that turn, then I'm going to be like, and then it's a thumbs down. So it completely depends on if it's permanent or not. Next card we have is a 2 mana spell called Ruined Orb. Deal 2 damage, discover a spell. Just gonna give this an instant thumbs up. Like basically it's damage with a benefit. It's great. Next card we have is a 4 mana 3/3 called Varden Dawngrass Battlecry. Freeze all enemy minions. If they are already frozen, deal 4 damage to them instead. I'm actually going to give this a thumbs up. I think this is just Frost Nova on a stick, and that could be really good for you if you're falling a little bit behind. So yeah, good. Next card we have is a 0 mana spell called Flurry. So this is another rank spell. Freeze a random enemy minion at rank 1. I don't know what happened to my throat there. Rank 2, freeze 2 enemy minions. And then at rank 3, freeze 3 enemy minions. I'm just going to go ahead and just give it a thumbs down. I don't care about what people are going to say about synergies in Arena. I never like trying to force synergies. I don't think this will work out, and most of the time you're just going to end up just freezing stuff. I don't know, I just don't like it. Next card you have is a 4 mana 3/5 called Reckless Apprentice. Battlecry, fire hero power at all enemies. Just going to give this a double thumbs up. Absolutely broken card, and I think we're going to be seeing it a lot, especially as it's a rare. Hopefully they will decrease the offer rate on this card when it comes out in Arena. Fingers crossed. And last but not least, we have a 10 mana 10/10 called Mordres Fire Eye. Battlecry, if you dealt 10 damage with your hero power this game, deal 10 damage to all enemies. So I think majority of the time, and this card may just be a 10 mana 10/10 because I find a lot of Arena games tend to finish like by turn 7 or 8. But if you do draw this card really late, if you're going into fatigue, then obviously this card's absolutely insane. It's basically a Pyroblast on a stick plus AoE, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs up and move on. So next we have Paladins. So the first one's a Secret. It's a 1 mana, of course, Galloping Savior. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, summon a 3/4 steed with Taunt. Ugh. Imagine if your opponent does not play 3 cards in a turn. I'm going to give it a thumbs down. If you top deck this is probably going to be really awful. This looks like the type of secret you'll probably want to draw really early on. Even then, I don't think I'd pick it because it's too much of a condition. If it said 2 cards in a turn, great, but 3 I think is too much of a demand. Next we have is a 1 mana 1/1 Knight of Anointment Battlecry, draw a holy spell. If this was Discover Holy Spell, I would be more on board with it, but because it's draw a holy spell, I'm gonna give it like a thumbs down. I feel like there are just better 1 costs in Paladin, and I don't know, I don't think the stats are worth the benefit, right? Next thing we have is a 2 mana 1/3 called Cigar Caravan. At the start of your turn, summon 2 1/1 Silver Hand Recruits. I think this is just going to get killed. Another thumbs down for me. I just don't like this card. Next we have is a 3 mana 3/4 Northwatch Commander Battlecry. If you control a secret, draw a minion. I think the majority of the time this is just going to be a 3 mana 3/4, which I have no problem with, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. Next we have is a 2 mana 1/3 weapon called Sword of the Fallen. After your hero attacks, cast a secret from your deck. I'm just going to give this an instant thumbs down. I still think secrets aren't necessarily great in Paladin, and it's basically a light's justice that costs 1 more with 1 less durability, so next card we have is a 1 mana spell called Conviction. So this is a rank spell. Give a random friendly minion +3 attack, and then rank 2 is give 2 friendly minions +3 attack, and then rank 3 you give 3 random friendly minions +3 attack. It just reminds me of that 1 mana spell where you target, where you give a minion +3 attack that nobody ever really chooses in Arena. I'm probably going to give it a thumbs down. The fact that it's random as well doesn't seem necessarily great. I guess it's a good burst of energy, but it takes so long before you really get the full advantage of this card, I think. Next card we have is a 4 mana 4/3 called Carrio Ram. She's a Rush Divine Shield. Whenever this attacks, reduce the cost of holy spells in your hand by 1. I actually think this is quite great because obviously with the Divine Shield you can always do a value trades, and it also has the added bonus of potentially like decreasing spells in your hand. So I'm just going to give this a thumbs up. I think this is pretty decent. Next card we have is a 4 mana spell, Invigorate and Sermon. Give +1/+1 to all minions in your hand, deck and battlefield. I actually am going to give this a thumbs up. I think this card may actually work better than we all expect. It's probably a little bit slow, but I still think this is worth trying out. Next card we have is a 4 mana 3/5 Veteran War Medic. After you cast a holy spell, summon a 2/2 medic with lifesteal. So this is kind of like Violet Teacher, but with benefits. I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. The 4 mana 3/5 body is but if you manage to even just get one spell off this, I think it's still worth. And then last but not least, we have the 5 mana 4/4 Cannon Master Smith Battlecry. Transform your secrets into 3/3 soldiers. They transform back when they die. Instant thumbs down for me. Like, if you have a secret in play, great, but I think the majority of the time this is probably going to be a 5 mana 4/4, which is going to be a little tragic. Alright, so let's get to Priest, everybody's favourite class. So the first one we have is a 4 mana 3/4 called Void Flayer. Battlecry, for each spell in your hand, deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion. Absolutely disgusting. Thumbs up. Next card we have is an 8 mana spell, Power Word Fortitude. Give a minion +3/+5, cost 1 less for each spell in your hand. Gonna give this a thumbs down. Like, even if you only have yeah, I think you need like about 3 spells to make this somewhat playable, and even then that's a bit of a stretch. Next card you have is a 2 mana 1/3 Soothsayer's Caravan. At the start of your turn, copy a spell from your opponent's deck to your hands. Give it a thumbs down because it's very easily removable. Next card we have is a 3 mana spell called Devouring Plague. Lifesteal, deal 4 damage to randomly split among all enemy minions. I'm gonna just go ahead and give this a thumbs up. That's absolutely ridiculous. Next one we have is a 2 mana legendary called Serena Bloodfeather Battlecry. Choose an enemy minion, steal attack and health from it until this has more. I can't do the math, but I think this is a great card. Plus a thumbs up. Next card we have is a 4 mana Legendary called Zarella. Battlecry, if you restored health this turn, deal that much damage to all enemy minions. Just gonna give it a thumbs up because that's ridiculous. Think of it this way, right? You heal yourself on 6, play this, and then you dealt 2 damage to all enemy minions. Absolutely insane. Next card we have is a 5 mana 5/5 Priest of Anshi. Taunt Battlecry, if you restored health this turn, gain +3/+3. So basically on turn 7 you can get a 5 mana 8/8 taunt. Just gonna go with a thumbs up and cry in my sleep. Next thing we have is a 2 mana spell called Condemn. Rank 1, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Rank 2 is deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. And rank 3 is deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. I think this is a thumbs up. I think it's a very decent removal tool. And it isn't too overpowered. Next card we have is a 6 mana 6/6 taunt called Light Shower Elemental. Death Rattle, restore 8 health to all friendly characters. I think this is the card that's going to make every hunter player want to concede. Like, wow. Thumbs up. And last but not least, you have a 0 mana spell called Desperate Prayer. Restore 5 health to each hero. So unless you want to trigger the cards we just saw earlier, I think this is a pretty awful spell. I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. Okay, so the next card we have is a 3 mana 3/2 Field Contact. After you play a Battlecry or combat card, draw a card. I think there's too much of a criteria for that. I'm just going to give it a thumbs down because I'm not particularly a fan of the stats. Next card we have is a 2 mana 1/4 Efficient Octobot Frenzy. Reduce the cost of your cards by 1. Because of the 4 health, I actually do see this getting pulled off. I'm actually going to give it a thumbs up because I think that could actually lead to some very crazy shenanigans in Arena. Next card we have is a 2 mana nature spell called Silverleaf Poison. Give your weapon. After your hero attacks, draw a card. I'm going to say meh. I think there are better draw mechanics for Rogue, and this is not it. Next card we have is a 2 mana spell called Wicked Stab. Rank 1, deal 2 damage. Rank 2, deal 4 damage. And rank 3, deal 6 damage. It's basically Eviscerate, but maybe a little bit better? I'm not sure. Tell me what you think below. Next card we have is a 4 mana 3/2 Apothecary Hellbrim. Battlecry and Death Rattle, add a random poison to your hands. I guess it gives you like a value for 2. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up because I think poisons can be very valuable in Arena, especially as a rogue player. Next card we have is a 3 mana 2/2 weapon called Swine Tusk Shank. After you play a poison, gain +2 durability. I'm just going to go ahead and just give it a thumbs down. I am not a fan of this weapon at all. And then we've got a 4 mana 3/3 called Scabs Catabutter, a combo. The next 2 cards you play this turn cost 3 less. With all the draw mechanics that I'm seeing in Rogue right now and the value you can get with it, I'm literally just going to give this a thumbs up. I think this is kind of disgusting. And then next card we have is a 1 mana spell called Paralytic Poison. Give your weapon +1 attack and your hero is immune while attacking. I think it's okay. Like, it gives you the trades without dealing too much damage to your opponent, to yourself, so I think it's pretty solid. Next card we have is a 4 mana 4/4 called Ulrig Ambusher. Battlecry, deal 2 damage. If this enters your hand this turn, deal 4 damage instead. Easy thumbs up. It's basically a Scorpion on a with 2 extra health, 1 less attack. But if you draw it that turn, you deal 4 damage. I think that is really good. And then the last card we have is a 1 mana spell called Yoink. Discover hero power and set its cost to 0. Swap back after 2 uses. See, personally, I think this card's a little overhyped. I don't think it's going to see much play in Arena, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. Here we have Shaman. So the first card we have is a 1 mana 1/2 called Spawn Pool Forager. I don't know why I struggle to say that. Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Tiny Fin. So this is basically a possessed villager with 1 extra health with the Murloc tag. Perfect. I love it. Next card we have is a 4 mana 2/6 called Earth Revenant. Taunt, Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. So AoE attached to a stick plus a taunt. Elemental as well, just going to give it a thumbs up. Brilliant cards. Next card we have is a 5 mana 4/5 called Lilly Pad Lurker. Battlecry, if you played an elemental last turn, transform an enemy minion into a 0/1 with taunts. Insane. I have been offered so many elementals in Arena recently, so I can definitely see this being pulled off even with the future expansions. Next card we have is a 2-mana 1/3 called Tiny Finn's Caravan. At the start of your turn, draw a Murloc. You can't fool me with how cute this card looks. I'm going to give it thumbs down. I can see it just getting killed. Next card we have is a 3-mana 2/5 called Arid Stormer. Battlecry if you played an elemental last turn, getting Rush and Wind Fury. Pretty okay. If you can pull it off, if you can't pull it off, still 3-mana 2/5, so if it's that case then be eh. Next card we have is a 2-mana 3/2 South Coast Chieftain. Battlecry, if you control another Murloc, deal 2 damage. I don't see you always pulling this off, but if you do, this is just a great card. But if you're playing it vanilla, it's just a bit meh. So the next card we have is a 2-mana 2/3 called Fireman Sulfurgal. After you play a Murloc, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Oh no, all enemies, not enemy minions. I'm gonna give this thumbs up because even if you don't pull it off, you still get a 2-mana 2/3. If you do, it's pretty nice. I quite like it. Next card we have is a 3-mana spell called Nothing Can Stop Us. Give your minions +1/+1. Give your Murlocs an extra +1/+1. I'm gonna give it eh. I think it's okay, but I don't really see you pulling it off that much, and it's quite an expensive buff for Shaman. Next card we have is a 4-mana 5/4 called Broken, and he gives nature spell damage +3. I think this is pretty eh, but probably great if you're casting it with a spell, so we'll see. Next card we have is a 2-mana spell, so called Chain Lightning. So rank 1, deal 2 damage to a minion and a random adjacent one. Rank 2 is deal 3 damage, and rank 3 is deal 4 damage. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I think this is a great removal tool to give to Shaman. Okay, next class we have is Warlock. So the first card is a 2-mana 1/3 called Apothecary's Caravan. At the start of your turn, summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. Just going to go ahead and give this a thumbs down. I just don't see this working. Next card we have is a 3-mana 3/3 Cabal Outfitter. Battlecry and Deathrattle give another friendly minion +1/+1. I actually think this is a really great card. Thumbs up, solid minion overall. Next card we have is a 6-mana 6/6 called Barrens Scavenger. Taunt costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards. I don't always see you pulling this off in Arena, so I'm just going to give it a mid, but if you have those fatigue games then obviously it's decent. Next card we have is a 5-mana 5/5 called Nero Fireblade. Battlecry, if your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn. I never see this happening in Arena, so I'm just going to give it an easy thumbs down. Don't really want to play a 5-mana 5/5 if you can help it. Next card we have is a 1-mana spell called Altar of Fire. Destroy the top 3 cards of each deck. It's a card to play if you want to annoy your opponent, but most of the time I'm just going to give this a thumbs down. I don't think this is really playable. Next card we have is a 1-mana spell called Grimoire of Sacrifice. Destroy a friendly minion, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. I actually think this is pretty good. You can chuck it like on a 1/1 imp and deal 2 damage to everything, so definitely worth a pick. Next card I have is a 3-mana 1/3 called Tamsin Ram. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0. I actually think this is pretty decent. I feel like you can play quite a few spells alongside this because of the low cost associated with it. So yeah, definitely a good card. Next card we have is a 4-mana spell called Soul Rend. Deal 5 damage to all minions. Destroy a card in your deck for each killed. Interesting. I'm gonna give it a half thumbs because obviously if you do get to destroy everything, this could be a good and a bad thing. Like it's a comeback card, but I think overall I think it's a bit too much of a disadvantage unless you're only getting rid of a couple of minions. Next card we have is a 3-mana 3/3 called Bloodshard Bristleback. Lifesteal. Battlecry, if your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion. So if you manage to pull this off, obviously it's a great card, but I think the majority of the time it's going to be a 3-mana 3/3, so I'm just going to put my thumbs to the side. And the last card for Warlock we have is a 2-mana spell called Imp Swarm. It's a ranked spell, so the first rank is summon a 3/2 imp. Next rank is summon 2 3/2 imps, and then the next one is summon 3 3/2 imps. Just gonna give it a thumbs up. It's not too bad, and definitely not sad if you draw this in the late game either. So That's good. And the last class we have is Warrior. So the first card we see in here is a 4-mana 2/6 Whirling Combatant. Battlecry and Frenzy, deal 1 damage to all other minions. I actually think this card's kind of insane, so I'm just going to give it an easy thumbs up. Next card we have is a 5-mana 4/5 Pirate called Stonewall Anchorman. Rush, Frenzy, draw a card. Again, great card because obviously you can value trade with this and you draw a card. I think it's the type of value that Warrior's been needing for a long time now. Next card we have is a 2-mana spell called Bulk Up. Give a random taunt minion in your hand +1/+1 and copy it. I'm gonna give this a thumbs up because I feel like taunts are pretty common at the moment, so yeah, not too bad. Next card we have is a 4-mana 3/3 called Outrider's Axe. After your hero attacks and kills a minion, draw a card. I'm gonna give it a sideline just because I'm not sure about the stats, but I'm still quite excited for this card because it's always nice to have a bit of value with Warrior. Next card we have is a 4-mana spell called Rancor. Deal 2 damage to all minions, gain 2 armor for each destroyed. To be honest, having a bit of AoE with Warrior is not too bad. I'm going to give it sides thumbs up though because I'm not sure. Next card we have is a 2-mana spell called Conditioning. Rank 1, give minions in your hand +1/+1. Rank 2 is give minions in your hand +2/+2. And then rank 3 is give minions in your hand +3/+3. Now, I'm never sure about these type of cards because I honestly feel like hand buff cards never really worked in the past, but with all these new draw mechanics that we've seen so far, this could actually be kind of okay. I'm just going to give it a sides thumbs. Next card we have is a 7-mana 5/4 called Overlord Sword. Battlecry, resurrect 2 friendly frenzy minions, deal 1 damage to all other minions. Now if you resurrect those frenzy minions before dealing the 1 damage, I actually think that's insane. I'm going to give this a double thumbs up because from what I've seen there are some very good frenzy minions in the meta. Next card we have is a 3-mana 2/3 called Recara Rush. After a friendly minion attacks and survives, give it +1/+1. Again, great cards. Easy pick, I think. Next card we have is a 1-mana 1/3 Warsong Envy Frenzy. Gain +1 attack for each damaged character. Actually really good as well. I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. Like at the end of the day, it's a 1-mana 1/3, and if you value trade, you could get an added benefit to it. Nice. And then the last card we have is a 5-mana 4/4 called Morshang Elite. Taunt Battlecry. If your hero attacked this turn, summon a copy of this. I guess this is swaying you to like pick more weapons in the meta, but I don't see this always pulling off. And playing a 5-mana 4/4 could be really bad for you. So I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. I'm not particularly a fan of this card. Next we have all the neutrals. So the first one we have is a 2-mana 2/4 called Far Watch Post. Can't attack. After your opponent draws a card, it costs 1 more, up to 10. This could really detempo your opponent, but the fact that it can't attack makes me a bit skeptical. So I'm just going to give it a sides thumb just for that reason. Next card we have is a 2-mana 1/3 called Lushwater Scout. After you summon a Murloc, give it +1 attack and rush. Unless you're Shaman, there aren't many Murlocs. I'm just going to give it a side because I'm pretty unsure about that. Next card we have is a 2-mana 2/3 called Oasis Thrasher. Frenzy, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. So basically this is the guy your girlfriend warned you about. I actually think this is a great card, thumbs up. Next card we have is a 2-mana minion called Talented Arcanist. Battlecry, your next spell this turn has +2 spell damage. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I'm not a particular fan of this effect. Next card we have is a 3-mana 2/4 Barrens Trapper. Your Death Rattle cards cost 1 less. I'm gonna go meh. I don't really think it's that pickable because of the stats, but I guess it could be beneficial in some drafts. Next card we have is a 3-mana 4/3 Crossroads Gossiper. After a friendly secret is revealed, gain +2/+2. I noticed they are trying to force more secret synergies this meta, so maybe this card's actually going to be really good. Even without the effect, it's still a 3-mana 4/3, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. Next card we have is a 3-mana 2/4 Death's Head Cultist. Taunt Death Rattle, restore 4 health to your hero. So instead of it being a battle cry like the Shaman card, it's basically a Death Rattle in a meta where Death Warden's going to be present. I'm just going to say I'm not really a fan of this card. Next card we have is a 3-mana 3/2 Hog Rancher. Battlecry, summon a 2/1 Hog with Rush. like Hunter obviously is really happy with this card, but honestly I think this card's going to be the talk of the map. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think it's a fantastic card. Next card we have is a 3 mana 4/3 called Ratchet Privateer. Battlecry, give your weapon +1 attack. Even stats alone, still pretty decent. If you're one of those type of classes that actually have weapons, then even better. This card I think is going to be meta breaking. It's a 3 mana 1/3 Venomous Scorpid, Poisonous. Battlecry, discover a spell. I think this card's just fantastic. Double thumbs up for this card. The next card we have is a 3 mana 3/4 Sunwell Initiate Frenzy, gain Divine Shield, so you can value trade and get Divine Shield. If your opponent tries to value trade, it will get Divine Shield. So you have to kill it in one go. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a double thumbs up. I think this card's going to be super annoying to deal with. Next card we have is a 4 mana 3/3 Gruntled Patron, not to be confused with Grim Patron. Frenzy, summon another Gruntled Patron. I wonder. Next card we have is a 6 mana 4/8 called Tarajo Brave. I think that's how you say it. Frenzy, destroy a random enemy minion. I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. I think this is great, and it's nice that we have a card that all our classes can use. I think this is going to be beneficial to everybody. And then next card we have is a 4 mana 5/10 Injured Marador Taunt. Battlecry deals 6 damage to this minion. So this is actually going to be a card I'm probably going to see Priest pick a lot and make everybody else hate Priest. I still think it's okay despite what class you pick it with. Probably not the best. Priest has a thumbs up. Other classes, I think it'll be like an eh. The next card we have is a 4 mana 5/5 South Sea Scoundrel. Battlecry, discover a card in your opponent's deck. They draw this as well. I actually really like this. Even though your opponent draws it, I think it's fair. So easy thumbs up. I would definitely pick this card. Next card we have is a 5 mana 1/1 Burning Blade Acolyte. Death Rattle, summon a 5/8 Demon Spawn with Taunt. Crazy. Easy thumbs up. Next card we have is a 5 mana 3/7 Gold Roll Grunt Taunt Frenzy, gain armor equal to the damage taken. I'm just going to give it a thumbs down. I don't think the stats are worthy of the mana cost, and the effect is very eh. Next card we have is a 4 mana 5/7 called Darkspear Berserker. Death Rattle, deal 5 damage to your hero. I'm just going to go ahead and just give it a thumbs up. I actually think this card's pretty good despite the drawback. Next card we have is a 2 mana 2/2 Toad of the Wilds. Taunt Battlecry, if you're holding a nature spell, gain +2 health. So obviously in some classes this is going to be better than others. I'm going to give it a thumbs up for certain classes and then a side thumbs for the classes that don't really have nature. Well, actually, if you don't have nature spells, then it's a thumbs down. It depends on the class, I think. Next card we have is a 2 mana 2/4 Hecklefang Hyena. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to your hero. I'm going to give this a thumbs down. I don't think the stats are worthy of that type of Battlecry. No, I'm not a fan of it. Next card we have is a 2 mana 3/2 Lushwater Mercenary. Battlecry, if you control a Murloc, gain +1/+1. I actually think this card's quite cute. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. It's, well, thumbs to the side because I don't think it's always going to happen, but if you're a class that have quite a few Murlocs, then it's like a thumbs up. Next card we have is a 1 mana 1/2 Kindling Elemental. The next elemental you play costs 1 less. I think the stats for a 1 cost are absolutely fine. I'm gonna give it a side thumb. Like, I don't see it working with a lot of classes, but with like Mage and Shaman, I think this is definitely a card worth considering picking. Next card we have is a 7 mana 5/5 Cargill Battlescar. Battlecry, summon a 5-hour lookout for each watch post you've summoned this game. So if you're like, I think the majority of the time this is going to be a 7 mana 5/5 unless you actually do draft the watch posts. I've only saw the first one, so I'm just going to give it a side thumbs because I'm not really sure. Next one we have is a 4 mana 4/6 Crossroads Watch Post. Can't attack. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, give your minions +1/+1. Whew, that's interesting. I'm actually going to give it a thumbs up. I think that's really annoying. Next one we have is another watch post as a 3 mana 3/5 card attack. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/2 grunt. Also really annoying. I'll give it a thumbs up. I think the high healths actually really help with these cards working. The fact that they can't attack though may really draw the cards back a bit. Next card we have is a 5 mana free 5 Barrens Blacksmith Frenzy. Give your other minions +2/+2. I feel like this may just get traded off because it's 5 mana, and I feel like even like a 5 mana 5/5 will be able to deal with this very efficiently. But if you do manage to pull that off, then that's absolutely insane. So I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. I think it's not too bad. Next card we have is a 3 mana 3/4 Horde Operative. Battleguard, copy your opponent's secrets and put them into play. So this is a great way of finding out what type of secrets your opponents have just played. And it's a 3 mana 3/4 body, so even if your opponent doesn't have any secrets, it's still a great card. Thumbs up. Next card we have is an 8 mana 6/6 called Primordial Protector. Battlecry, draw your highest cost spell, summon a random minion with the same cost. I actually think this is pretty decent. Some classes may be air, but I actually think overall this is a thumbs up. You get the 6/6 body guaranteed, and then if your highest cost spell is like 5 mana, you're going to get a 5 mana minion, all for 8 mana. Like, I'm not moaning. Next card we have is a 4 mana 3/3 Kazaka's Golem Shaper. Battlecry, if your deck has no 4 cost cards, build a custom golem. I'm going to give it a thumbs down because this is more of a ranked card than an arena card. Next card is a 4 mana 3/6. After you cast a holy spell, give a random friendly minion +2 health. Priest and Paladin are like chiming right now, so I'm just going to give it a thumbs up and cry. Next card we have is a 5 mana 5/6 Frenzy. Attack a random enemy. Interesting. So if you have like a ping to go with this, this could actually be a form of removal if it doesn't miss. I think it's still a thumbs up because I actually really like the stats with the mana cost. Next card we have is a 3 mana 3/4 called Mankrik. Battlecry, help Mankrik find his wife. She was last seen somewhere in your deck. And basically what happens is they put a card in your deck, and when it's drawn, it summons a 3/10 Mankrik who immediately attacks the enemy hero. So this is actually, I actually think this is adorable, and the stats for it as well is actually decent. I'm going to give this a thumbs up. I like it. Next card we have is a 2 mana 2/3 called Peon Frenzy. Add a random spell from your class to your hands. Still a 2 mana 2/3 if you don't get the effect of, but I still think it's a thumbs up. You can get probably great value from this. Next card we have is a 4 mana 1/6 Blademaster Cigar Rush Frenzy. Deal damage equal to this minion's attacks to all enemy minions. Imagine this card with a buff. I think Paladin and Priest are going to have a lot of fun with this card. Oh, and Druid of course. Easy thumbs up. Even without the buff, I think it's still a great card. Well, the last card is a 5 mana 3/6 called Shadowhunter Vol'jin. Choose a minion, swap it with a random one in its owner's hand. Huh. I feel like this card's going to be very interesting. So say you have a 1/1 on board, you could actually swap it and maybe get a Proto-Drake. I think this card's going to be really funny. Or if your opponent has like a really big taunt, you can just swap it and go face if you have lethal. I'm just going to give this a thumbs up. I think this card is hilarious. Alrighty, so yeah, that is all the cards. So thank you so much for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!